Yeah, and welcome back. I think it's been like an eternity to another episode of Controllers and Couches. I am one part of the duo, the FullMetalChicken,
and I am the Steph.
and it has been eons,
It has felt like eons.
Yeah, so everyone's like, yeah, where have they been? Did they quit? Oh, did Chicken get sent off to the farm? And I was like, no, all is well. Just it's a chew season.
A chew season, indeed.
A chew season.
I think it's going to be a chew season for a while.
Yeah, we gotta love that chew season. I'll tell you what, it's been ridiculous how much we've missed. It's just there's nothing to do though. Like literally, you can go outside, go to work. That's it, pretty much.
See, I don't even trust myself to go outside. The furthest I've been is the letterbox and the clothesline. Because I'm just convinced, because we had a lot of police activity in our area, because we live in an area with a lot of idiots who are breaking, let's call it what it is, the law.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to get a $23,000 fine, and I also don't want to get sick.
See, that's the thing, like everyone's running around like Muppets, and seeing people react, just today, watching someone lose their freaking mind over bread. I went and did the weekly shop at the...
More like a monthly.
I did a monthly shop at the stupid market. And there were people freaking out over use-by dates. Oh my God. Why do people freak out over use-by dates? I don't get it. It's bread. Oh, I should make it myself. Then make it yourself. They've been doing it that for, centuries. Whoop-de-doo.
Exposed. I don't know.
So... But seeing everyone else with their, vlogs and their YouTube and their TikToks and everything, just seeing how much stupid shit people are doing, it makes me realise I've literally just been playing Call of Duty. I'm nearly, there. Ribbons, not even close, don't even bother. There's 5 days to get everything. And I'm just like...
besides playing with you guys
last
week.
It's like, I don't think you're going to make it either. I mean, I definitely know I'm not going to make it. But...
I'm only 155. I am not... I finished my battle pass a month ago. I don't think I'm going to get there.
Not even close.
I think it's over.
Yeah.
All the ribbons that I completed, I'm still not going to finish.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
Honestly, though, apparently they announced Season 6. Yeah. And I can honestly say... I'm tired. I am tired. And I am dirty.
You think people are going to give up on number 6?
No, because apparently they're going to do some Cold War crossover bullshit. And allegedly now, all the skins you buy, like operator skins and stuff, you can use that in Warzone next game.
Yeah, so he's in Cold War Warzone.
Allegedly.
So those characters are going over into that game.
Yeah, like if you've purchased content.
But what about if you've unlocked it?
I don't know, dude. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No, because technically if you paid for the, season pass...
And they're releasing... I didn't read it, because I put it in the show notes.
Apparently they're putting a subway in.
Yeah. I put it in the show notes because I wanted to talk about it later in the news. But there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... That's 7. Yeah, that's 7. And it goes around the whole of Verdansk, where obviously it's underground. And in the picture, it looks like they've repaired stadium. Okay. But it's still open. The top is open, but the blast isn't as damaged.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently... so if you're Australian, it comes out on the 30th of September, which is a Wednesday, and normally they do it on a Thursday, don't they?
Yeah.
So be prepared for 3:30 or 4:30, whatever it is, to... Suddenly everyone's internet's going to do that. Allegedly, they've rumoured 3 new weapons: the R700 sniper rifle, the AA-12 auto shotty, the AS Val rifle. We don't know if there's going to be any more live events. But yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. Very interesting to see.
Mi non ho esse.
Mi non ho esse. Me no know.
I love how, I'm just bored. Do you know what I mean? And the alpha came out, and we're Xbox players.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that a bit later, but I'm glad because I would have actually cancelled my pre-order with the shit I saw on the alpha.
Wow.
It looks so clunky. We watched Jev play it. We watched Doctor play it. Who else did we watch? We watched some kids on YouTube, not YouTube, Twitch run through it. It just looked so clunky.
Talking about clunky, the people who run mods, holy shit.
Do I have beef?
Do we have beef?
What's that kid's name? I honestly can't remember. I wonder if that video is even still up. Let me go to my Twitch history. But essentially, he was doing it in the open. Like, he couldn't make it any more obvious.
Yeah.
So this kid had I don't even know what they're
wall
called.
hacks.
And he had this thing where it puts a stick figure of where the enemy was. Tells you what weapon they're using, what their secondary is, how many rounds they have for each, what their health is, their distance away from you, and if they're in, like, say for example, they're behind a wall, it's red, but if they're in their quote-unquote field of view, it turns green.
Yeah, and it's just stupid. I've seen some people troll people in CSGO.
And then they're like, oh, nah, it's just the chair.
So, yeah, essentially the main ones that everyone knows are you got your aimbot, you got your wall hacks. Radar, for instance, radar, if you've got a radar hack, you see everyone on the map.
And then they got aimbots and shit, which have always been around. But now, let me tell you, they're now doing... they brought it all over to infected.
Yeah.
Ground war infected, reinfected, whatever the hell it's called. I think he's taking his video down. I sent the link to someone, so I'll have to check him out.
He probably got banned.
No, he wouldn't have gotten banned. No one's getting banned.
It's fucking stupid.
It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely stupid.
But it is what it is.
So, what do you do?
And then when we were playing last week, we were playing Shoot the Ship, and we were in Shoot House, and I think we were playing Hardpoint, because we were playing with the guys.
Yeah.
And the enemy team, you know how there's the one in Shantytown, but it's behind the wall?
Yep.
As you run through the junkyard. And they were camping out there, and so I ain't stupid. I'm going to get my AR, my M4, and I'm going to spray wood, because you could get a wall bang and you know where they only kill them. They don't know you're there, right? Because they're not smart enough to shoot back. And I did that, and they're like, you bitch, you're wall hacking. And it's like, literally, child, because you could see it, because that was the kill cam at the end. It was the play of the game, because all 4 of them were camping back there. And it's like, you can see me shoot in a straight line at what would be like waist height, until I got the hit markers, and then going after all the others. So it's not wall hacking.
And the bit where you literally see a guy at Shoot House, for instance, and he's hiding up the back of the map, and he shoots literally
cross map
through the walls, like literally through just solid,
literally across the.
And then you see the camera shot, and he's under the map.
And we saw hackers when I was playing with Rob. We were waiting for your Xbox the server to let you in, because the Call of Duty servers have been shit. And we were playing, and the guys we were in the quarry version of Reinfected, Ground War, and they were in the wall, and they're just spraying everyone with the little minigun, machine gun, whatever. It's
minigun.
called.
It's honestly pathetic. I mean, obviously, we've all used game cheats at some point in sandbox mode.
You know what cheats I used? Need for Speed Most Wanted. You know how you get the 3 cards?
Yeah.
And whichever one you choose, you either got money, or you got points, or you got the person you were versing's car.
Yeah.
That's what I used
Stuff like
for,
that.
because I wanted the car.
See, that's a game that we need to replay.
You say that, but unfortunately, it's not on the sale. You know how they were doing a Blizzard Activision sale? Up to 60% off. It wasn't on there. Heat was on there, though. Yeah. And a few of the others, but I don't think Most Wanted's there anymore.
Got to find the disc. So. But that's the thing. Like, seeing people, mostly PC, do all the dodgy shit, but it's really blatant. And this particular guy...
But when you get them, they rage with the force of 1,000 suns.
And you see them, like, for instance, classic example, sniper rifle with, high explosive rounds. If you get hit with the Rytec AMR...
You should go down.
You're in deep shit. Like, if I hit a helicopter with a few rounds from that, it's gone. I hit a TAC vehicle a few times.
It's
gone. I hit a UAV. It's gone. But when you shoot a hacker and you literally know they're hackers, just by the gameplay, everything, where they're situated, you hit them with 15 rounds from one of those bad boys, and nothing happens. And then you see them run around the corner.
But then they accuse you of being the hacker. Like, we were playing Plunder last week, again, like you, myself, and Rob. And, remember how we had the bounty? And the guy ran upstairs, and I'm like, oh, he's in the crosslink, because he was in Quarry, and he was between the two buildings. And so I have tracker on, because I forgot to change it to my other thing. So I've run up the stairs, and I see his red footprints. So I spin around, and then I get him, and then he's like, you bitch, you're hacking, how'd you know I was there? And then that's when the audio cuts out.
Yeah, and see, even seeing that happen, like the ability for them to just snap on, it's watching Jev too, watching him play and seeing people who just snap on, you go, yeah, not possible.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
It is what it is. Look, they're still going to make money from it. But I was hoping that they'd give us a break before the new game. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think they will. It's just they want to churn out as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Massive amounts of money. All the money.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So we'll just take a slight detour, but I saw this trending on Twitter yesterday.
Ooh.
And apparently archaeologists unearthed 27 sarcophagi in an ancient Egyptian city. And the bodies inside are obviously mummified because they're in a sarcophagus. But they've been sealed for like 2,500 years.
Joy. What could go wrong?
This is not the year. Put them back.
Put them back. This is not the year.
But you look at it and look how perfectly preserved the wood is.
Which means...
And the paint.
It's crazily built. And that's the thing too, because once you start getting exposed to the air, that means that it hasn't been exposed to any elements whatsoever.
No, there's no decay. It was in the City of the Dead, found beneath Saqqara, Egypt.
It's just, seeing stuff like that.
Watch the British Museum come and say, sorry, we had ownership of privileged sites. They're ours now.
Bye.
Arseholes.
Take them.
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying they need to give them back to the people of Egypt. That's what I'm saying.
Because essentially, we've all seen... Maybe they've, created a film site for the new mummy. Maybe this is it.
Oh, let's never go there
2,500 years in the making.
Let's never go there again. I'm talking about Tom Cruise's one.
Oh, don't even get me started with Tom Cruise.
What's happening with that new Top Gun movie that was supposed to be out now?
Hopefully
is that going direct to Netflix?
Most likely.
Let me just Google this. Tog Gun. Top Gun. That gun pum. That's what I'm typing. Yeah.
But apparently Mulan has made bank on POV. Literally.
But also, it costs... Say that if you and I were to go to the movie, there was no pandemic.
Yeah.
We would pay the exact same amount of money to get 2 tickets as we would to get it.
Yeah.
Pay.
Another thing is, they don't have to pay theatres. They don't have to pay middlemen, nothing. It's just direct money to them.
But you know what? Because so many people bought it, now it shows them that they have a market to do this.
And now they will do it. They may not bring their, new movies to cinemas at all. This could be... Imagine that. Imagine if this
monopoly.
was just a case of, forget it. We're not bringing it to cinemas anymore. Stuff it. We'll just bring it straight to, Disney Plus. There you go. Cut out the middleman.
Apparently it's going to... Allegedly, it's going to be released in Spain on the 23rd of December 2020. But it's going to be released everywhere else 2021.
Oh, joy.
Whatever that means. Whatever that... Just...
It's going to be shit.
No sense.
It's going to be bad.
$152 million budget. I feel so sorry for the plane that had to carry Tom Cruise's ass.
It was probably
no, 2nd of July now.
Okay, it was probably a Scientologist who carried his ass.
Scientology did carry his ass. It's a different story.
Oh, jeez. So, but yeah, if anyone interested to, hear more about Scientology, follow a link. It's in our library.
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. Instaplug. So.
Alright, talking about Instaplug. Have you heard of the Woolies Ooshies? Well, you have, because you came home with
Yeah, I bought
30
some.
You didn't buy them. You qualified.
Yeah, I got them free.
$30.
So, in case anyone's been living under a rock, the Woolworths supermarket chain has these Ooshie things.
Which are little plasticky... They smell kind of like the 90s plastic, but barely.
Yeah.
It's not the hard one.
No.
It's
just
like cut.
Cut, yeah. So...
And it's a cross-promotion with Disney+.
So you've got Marvel and you've got Disney.
And Pixar.
And Pixar,
got
yeah.
A Woody.
Yeah, got a Woody.
But anyway, apparently they came out today and the CEO of Woolies said that they're going to have to force to end the promotion because of unprecedented high demand. And apparently it's going to keep going in Victoria because they delayed our launch.
Yeah.
So we're going to get the rest of the stock nationally.
And then everything else
and
is
everyone else
just...
is going to have to deal.
Bye-bye.
And people are literally just spending hundreds of dollars online to qualify to get the Ooshies, and people are apparently allegedly trying to tear into Woolworths if they're not getting their Ooshies, according to this news.com.au finance article.
Wow.
Because technically you qualify for it.
Yeah. Well, you know, either they get them or they don't. So you look at it and go, ooh, there's a lot of stuff to be, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of things to be taken.
Well, it was supposed to finish on the 20th of October.
But it's still pumping out.
But it'll allegedly, according to current projections, the country will run out by the end of the weekend.
Oh, that's funny.
So they thought they had 2 months worth of stuff, or 6 weeks, but they don't.
And you know the other thing too, I reckon there are people who've actually stolen them.
Oh, you telling me staff ain't stealing them?
I reckon they would have. I reckon there'd be some people who'd be just, adding in shit here and there.
I don't want to say conspiracy, because it's not, but it's a buying tactic.
Yeah.
To be like, oh yeah, just another $30 and come in and keep buying them. They did the same thing with the, not Taz cards, but they look like Taz cards.
Yep. Tazos.
Yeah, that's it. They did that like a couple of years ago. We still got a whole bag.
Just
of unopened ones we're going to give to kids we know.
Just because, meh.
It is what it is. And then you told me, like, apparently you have to pay, what was it, $10-15?
Yep.
To get the display box. But what if you have doubles?
I'm assuming...
You have to buy more boxes.
I don't know, maybe you just do, like, a swap.
Like, why do I need 3 Stormtroopers?
I don't think you do.
Why do I have 2 Princess Leias?
I don't know.
Why do I have 2 Yodas? What if I wanted 5 baby Yodas?
Yeah, just play swapsies.
Why do I have 2 Captain Marvels? One that's colour correct and one that's, like, a red jelly one with fake glitter in it. Okay. And then you told me that these are apparently rubbers, as in like pencil.
They look like erasers. They've got holes in them.
To sit on your pen or some shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's how you sit them in the case. Maybe the case has like a peg.
Possibly.
I'm not doing any more promotion marketing for all this. That's my day. That's it. I expect my check in 2 weeks, guys. Thanks. Isn't it Steve McCain or some shit like that? I don't know. He sends me emails once a week.
Give us that check. Give us that money.
Okay, talking about giving us money. This is it. We're going to talk about, well, not really, because then that's the last thing. But we're going to talk about what really grinded our gears this fortnight. I guess it's been a week because PS5 went out last week and Xbox went out yesterday.
Yep. It was bullshit. Like, seriously, that was bullshit. Had we missed out, this would be a completely different podcast had we missed out on purchasing a console. Like, if we had missed out on purchasing a next-gen console, rage. Major rage. But seeing the website load, refresh, and there it was like, okay, we secured. However, the debacle with the PS5, where they ran out in under 15 minutes.
It depended which retailer you bought it from.
Yeah.
Because every retailer had a separate issue. So let's rewind to the release of PS5. We knew we didn't want to get one because we weren't interested. Like, the Spider-Man looks awesome. But realistically, I'm not going to play Miles of Spider-Man because I will be playing Cold War or I'll be playing Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
Right?
See, The other thing is, as much as I talk about COD, I have played an absolute shit ton more Halo.
I
than
play
have
Halo
COD.
because playing with you is fun in story mode.
I fuck
and when
around
you do dumb
in
shit
Halo.
because you have to explore every single little pixel
Yeah.
in the 1 million pixel landscape,
And see, that's
I
the
get
thing.
shitty, what I like to do is throw a plasma grenade.
Yeah.
So I'd travel far enough that Michael, you know how your teammate character speed jumps?
Yep.
What I do is deliberately, when I hear that you're snapping to me, I like to toss a plasma grenade.
Yep.
And then I like to kill you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, don't you leave me here again. And then you're like, but it's a game. But anyway.
Yeah.
So we had a look at the PS5 lineup. We weren't, like, there's some cool... If there had have been infamous Third Son, I would have been like, Michael,
We got it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're on the PS5.
This is what we're doing. But it ain't happening. If there was another Until Dawn exclusive for the PS5 and it wasn't cross-platform like Little Hope is, they would have had my money.
Yeah.
So, it goes live and Sony and the Australian retail... We can only speak of Australian retailers being JB Hi-Fi,
Yeah.
EB Games, and that's it, right? Unless you want to go to Amazon... Or you want to... I don't think Sony lets you purchase online like Xbox did.
I don't think they do.
But someone please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And so, we weren't purchasing, but we just wanted to have a look, right?
Yeah.
And you're an EB member. We use your account.
Yeah.
So I signed in under your account. And I've gone, oh shit, they pre-ordered everything. Like, they closed it for a little while.
Yeah, and then...
And then they're like, holy shit. EB must have been like, holy shit, we don't have enough. It's like, we've got, the volume is so high, we need to open up a second one.
Yeah.
And then so they opened up they called it a post 2020 launch. And then they let people purchase. And in who knows how many thousands of people purchase stock that doesn't exist yet, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing though. Apparently, EB Games only had 75,000 units available for launch day orders.
Do you remember the good old days of the Xbox One and the PS4, where one day the stock didn't exist, or it was out the back, and the next day it was on the shelf, and you just walked in, or if you had a pre-order, they would tell you, yo, you can come in, it's a Thursday night, come get your unit.
Yeah.
Launch day is tomorrow.
And now they're just, because of what's happened, they're now taking pre-orders next year.
EB, for what they did, EB will not be here.
No,
this is their last hurrah. They'll have a lifetime cycle of maybe 4 or 5 years.
And then they're gone.
We're not going to see EB ever again. And seriously, it gets to the point where not that I'm a financial specialist, but if you have points with EB and you want to cash in or you've got gift cards, use it now. Or use it straight after stuff opens if you're in Victoria. And just clear out. Because it ain't going to be there. So anyway, all these poor souls went into EB Games online, obviously, and because you can't pre-order in store, it all had to be online because no one wanted to be unfair to Victoria, and everyone crashed the website because so many bots.
And apparently too, there was a memo stating that for GameStop,
which is technically EB Games is owned by GameStop in the US.
The Series X, the GameStop stores only had 6 to 12 units per store, and the Series S only 2 to 4 units per store.
And that's America.
That's America.
What's Australia going to get, right?
We just got smashed. And then the other problem is, this is the real shit part. So people obviously using bots. Obviously, we have an aversion to bots purely because of Call of Duty. But then when you go and you use it in a shopping manner,
who are like, and then so people who wanted to get the unit. And they didn't tell people when it was either. And so the whole thing that got people so pissed off, especially through JB and EB, was the fact that 7, 8, 9 months ago, and we did that, I still have the receipt on the fridge, you could go into either store and you could tell them that you wanted your email and your phone number to go on a pre-order registry.
Yeah.
Right? And they had I still have the photo on my phone.
Yeah.
Right? And they had an info sheet saying that as soon as it was going to the price, it would be announced formally, they would allow you before anyone else, because you are on a pre-order sheet.
Yep.
They would contact you and say, we need your money now, or you're bunked to the back of the line.
Yeah.
And so I did it for both EB and for JB, partially because I wanted to see if different stores would have different information. But I always go for JB now because their receipt management is 10 million times better, and you can get warranty.
Yeah.
Through JB.
And now seeing what's happened, JB's, obviously had a few hiccups because they sold out as well.
Okay, but would you rather a website crash? Or would you
Website
rather...
crash.
Okay, as soon as you've added it to cart, like that's what we had to do with the Xbox. So we woke up 15 minutes early because we had only gone to sleep at 5 a.m. We woke up and I was like, yo, dude, wake up next door. Let's go.
And now there's the other problem.
We had the link.
We did. It was ready to go.
We knew the time. We had a minute update. I also loaded the EB website on another window because I wanted to see how they would perform. And so we did it with JB. We added it to cart, and then because there were so many people on the website, they couldn't load the delivery only option because you can't select click and collect, you can't select home delivery, and you can't select parcel drop because technically the product doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
So it's either would you pay $50 with JB or $200 and then they have to refund you because technically your order didn't go through with
Exactly.
EB.
But
so people were bitching about JB, and it's like, I would rather have to add my item to cart, hit refresh, and then it automatically correct to the delivery option, as in the online only, and then go through, as opposed to, the website's down.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Literally fucking stupid. And just seeing the bullshit that fucking happened, why even bother?
But we being Australia, we sold out in like 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you looking for something?
No, I'm just sort of...
You're looking at your library compared to your Ushi collection.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. But seeing people who have now missed out because of bots, and apparently hearing that 500 people have their orders revoked due to suspicious activity.
Did you also hear that apparently, unfortunately, in the US... people on Amazon were going on Amazon. In Australia, you can't get it on Amazon yet.
Yeah.
But they were going on Amazon and they were accidentally purchasing the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Because sales went up, I think, like 750%.
Fucking stupid.
And then people were like, oh shit, I thought I had secured it. But in reality, they didn't because they have the One X. And then I panicked when I read that and I was like, oh shit.
A whole heap of people
accidentally pre-ordered the wrong console, like the old gen, not the new next gen. So,
and now you look at the prices on eBay. People,
the last time we said it was $17,000.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
And when I did a math check, that is 22.6.
Someone is selling one for $1,300.
And they're bidding. That's a bidding war. It's not like it's a...
No, this one I'm looking at, it ain't...
No, but the big one that I saw yesterday...
And they're a long-time member. So how many do they have? Because there's buy it now. It isn't... What did they secure? How did they get that?
I don't know.
Because people are selling their pre-orders.
And they had like a pre-order receipt and they obviously blanked out the information.
Yeah, this is... So quantity, one available. So what they're doing is they're selling one.
So literally all they could have done is had 4 or 5 things set up.
Accounts, yeah.
Yep, and then just do it that way.
And it's just...
EBA. EBAY.
It's a joke. And we saw one that was selling for $17,500. It was being bidded on.
I'm going to have a look to see what that's performing at right now.
Because, it's a fucking joke. Absolute fucking joke. Why would you pay $1,700 for a fucking
Because people
Xbox?
are desperate.
It just... So people have literally just been sitting there...
$37,100 with 30 kids.
What?
Can I just do a quick math thing on my
computer? Sure, go for it.
Hold on. I want to do it on my computer because I could do it in my head, but I also don't want to stuff shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
749.
And see,
that is 49.53 Xbox X's that they could buy with that money.
Exactly. And here's the thing. It's first edition.
But technically, everything's first edition. The only problem is, are you going to get it? No one's going to guarantee you, no matter who you buy it from, no one's going to guarantee you that you're going to have it rock up to your house, or you can pick it up in store on, the 10th of November.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Say that person has 3 different accounts. They bought, 10. They've bought 10 of them, and they all bid high. That's $300,000.
That's the highest one, though. That's the highest one. The next highest one is 11. So what is it? You could round the other one up to nearly 40,000. And then there's one that's 11. Oh shit! You know what I should do? Let me go to the seller's name and see how many he's got.
And this is the thing. These fucking scalpers.
Kingaroy, Australia.
Fucking scalpers. They're literally wrecking it for everyone else.
Handheld Fun 2009 rather. So they've been around for a while.
But here's the thing. Essentially, legitimate customers were trying to get an item as basic, consumerism works. And essentially the scalpers were able to get in and annihilate everything so they could get the fucking Xboxes. Like, fucking bullshit.
The guy with the 37,000 bid, he doesn't have another one on. So I don't think... He's a scalper for sure, he's not like... It's only one account. Do you know what I mean? So he probably has... I can't say he does, but at least on this one seller account, that's the only one he has. And then let me have a look at the guy. I'm assuming they're guys. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be gender discriminatory. And then there's another person from Flat Oaks, New South Wales. And this is their first item. Right?
Yeah.
That's a burner account. That's how you know that that's a scalper.
That's a burner.
And that's for $11,100. 24 bids already. And the bid war ends in 5 days, 20 hours. And then the rest... Let's go to the next one. Then we've got Mango Hill, Queensland. This person sold 37 things before. Old games that they've used. Old console stuff like for the 360. A little headset connector thing. They're selling 2 Xbox One X consoles.
Wow.
So they've got 2.
Wow. Lucky them.
Yeah. And they don't have the proof of purchase image. They just got the stock photo of what the console looks like in the box.
Yeah. So imagine if they scam and then literally send out an Xbox One X.
Well, if they do that. Then there's some in Box Hill from North Victoria. This person has 10 items. See their other items.
Also, on the topic of buying stuff, did you hear that Microsoft has bought ZeniMax Media, which is a parent company of, as most of us know, Bethesda Softworks.
So it's going to suck to be everyone who wants to play the new Skyrim.
Yeah, and the new
Elder
Doom.
Scrolls or whatever.
But that's like, what, $10.4 billion Australian or $7.5 billion US. So, yeah, maybe they could, chip out a nice Xbox Series X. But here's the thing. Although we say that we pre-ordered our consoles, here's the catch. There is a big-ass disclaimer saying that even though you've got this happening at the moment, you can still miss out.
No, you won't miss out. It's just a matter of when will you get it.
Well, I hope it rocks up in November. Otherwise,
it's coming in November.
It better.
Because the one we ordered through... So there are two batches, right? There's the quote-unquote day one, right? And that's the one we got. Then after that, they unlocked it, and that's when they did post-launch sales. We weren't part of the post-launch. We were part of the original day one batch. So it's fine. And you know what? I'm going to do what I did with all the others. I'm going to pay JB Hi-Fi $5 extra. I ain't even going to go into the store. And then that employee is going to come to my front door and hand it to me in person.
He better. Or they
that's
better.
That's what they do. Remember how we got the DVD sale and we got Yellowstone Season 1 and 2 and like Tom Clancy Season 2?
Yeah.
It's fine.
And so here's the thing. eBay. Scalping is legal. Like, it's,
That's how they make the money.
It's allowed.
Because doesn't eBay make a percentage cost? Don't they get a percentage commission?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So, what did I say it was? Nearly 37,000.
Yeah.
What's the eBay commission on 37,000? Let me Google that.
Let's have a look.
eBay commission on.
So they take 10% of the final price.
Oh, so $3,700. I would freaking let scalpers scalp too.
Yeah.
That makes a
Wow.
lot of sense.
That's bullshit.
Alright, last thing I want to talk about, sorry, I took us on a wild tangent. Just a mini kind of case update. When we spoke about Breonna Taylor, I sent you the memo yesterday. But apparently, I'm just going to read straight from the document right now. Sorry, let me just zoom it in so I can read it clearly. From the Louisville Metro Police Department, the mayor and the chief of police have sent out to all personnel that there's going to be a modification to vacation requests because they're preparing for the Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, to announce the Breonna Taylor case. And effectively, immediately, all off days are cancelled and there are going to be no vacation requests. So basically, everyone is going to be all hands on deck because they're expecting another riot explosion. And I want to say rightly so, but also I don't want the people that are going to go there to riot and to stand for a good cause to get hurt.
Yeah, you don't want anyone being
threaten their
harmed.
own lives.
But we know this is going to happen. We know people are going to get injured. You know, it's...
And I bet you it'll be the police again lying that shit happened when in reality there are going to be so many cameras there. People are going to seriously strap their phones to their faces and live stream the whole thing.
Yeah, there's going to be, you know, massive unrest. Not what you want in any way, shape or form. So...
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And are those guys still employed? I don't
know. I haven't actually followed it up. So... I guess we just wait and see.
One of the dickheads who's still employed, Jonathan Mattingly, he sent an email around 2 a.m. After they shot Breonna, and was like, all of the people that are rioting right now are thugs. When we're here for a civil rights march, not me, as in they were there.
Yeah.
And he emailed them.
See, that's the thing. At what point is it crossing the line? When does that come into effect? Because what I've noticed...
If you said that to a police officer, if you shot up a police officer...
They're not going to...
The same way that they shot her up, you'd be dead in prison.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, people feel the need to go out and... Okay, obviously, you know, we were discussing this in a podcast, and obviously I can't comment because at the end of the day, it all comes down to, you know, privilege and all that sort of stuff. So obviously this is just a neutral comment. I'm not taking a side. All I'm saying is there's got to be a better way than wrecking the entire populace. I understand in America people have the right to vote, but on the other side of the world, observing...
But they buy votes.
They buy votes.
That's
and also,
the thing.
If there's rioting going on, and just because we were watching Jack Ryan... polling, essentially, Americans...
It's all a sham. It's predetermined before they go in. Like, you know, when people are like... I read the book by James Patterson, and it was The Kennedy Curse. And he had all the information, he broke it down. You know, JFK's father...
Yeah.
He bought him votes. He didn't even need to campaign because they had already secured his win beforehand. And his dad actually said, like, you know how they have the plane and they invite all the press on the plane as they travel to do interviews and stuff between, you know, stops on the campaign trail?
Yeah.
And the dad was like, oh, yeah, you know, I feel bad. Like, he said $37,000 back then securing his son's win.
It's a fucking joke. Corruption is unavoidable, unfortunately. I mean, how do you deal with it? How do you... Well, think about it, though. If people can't get in and vote, you know, would you be trying to go into an area that's being literally, you know, wiped out by
but
riots?
Also, how are they going to expect people to go and vote in A pandemic? B, they're saying that it's not even going to be safe.
No.
There's going to be riots and everything. And then in America, it's not... you're not forced to vote like you are in Australia.
No. And see, that's the thing. So all these people aren't voting. That straight away goes, okay, well, you're missing a percentage of the vote. How much, what percentage of the vote is missing? How
I think
much?
30% of America votes.
30%.
Let me double check that. It's either 30 or 35
You
last
think
time.
about it.
What percentage?
If 30% of America is only voting, and 50% of the population is what? Lower class or lower class? There's a lot of bullshit, essentially.
Apparently it's 60% in recent elections, 40% during midterm elections. I really thought it was lower. Maybe thinking of a minority voting
I don't know.
group. 55% of eligible Americans voted in the 2016 elections.
That's really bad odds. For America, the land of the free, that's really, really bad.
And technically, didn't Hillary win the last one?
Yes.
But because America doesn't count all vote, like in Australia, they tell us at least that they count everyone's vote. They start with the mail order votes.
Yeah.
And then on the day, as soon as the polls open at 9, 30 minutes after when they start changing over bins, that's when they start voting. And they start counting votes. And so we used to pride ourselves on getting it done in a day.
Yeah.
And so by the time the day ended, you would know who your Prime Minister was.
Exactly.
And they haven't done that most recently, I don't think, because obviously a larger population and stuff. But you find out within 3 days.
Yeah. And then it's all,
But America, they make projections. They don't make actual counting information.
And then all the numbers come through and everyone's like, oh, shit, that fucked up. We weren't expecting that. Ooh.
I don't know.
So...
Anyway, do we get into the main topic? I'm so
Let's
sorry it got rambly, but we're out of practice. I hope you guys don't mind.
It's been a while.
I hope you guys don't mad.
Hope you don't mand. We're back.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Today, I probably should have stated by saying that we acknowledge it's been a while.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is done a calculation where if from the month of October, November and December, if we chunk out turnout, it's going to be a long day, 2 episodes a week, we'll be back on track by the 1st of January, right? So we won't have missed any episodes. So that's what we're doing now. And I really like Halloween. I forced you to like Halloween. So it's the great month to do double-doubles. To kick that off. So we're going to do creepy shit in October because that's what you got to do.
And also too, I got a comment saying that it was, I'd say, feedback. It was a very, how do we put it, happy, pleasant comment about me uploading to my channel. So apparently if I don't upload regularly and all this sort of stuff, they'll just unsubscribe. At the end of the day, good for them. I don't care.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I Twitch. Not regularly, a minimum twice a week.
Yeah.
And I do it for like 5 to 6 hours a week. And then I have people... I'm not a big channel.
No.
Right? At all. I've got less than... Actually, I think I have more than 10 now. And I have people come to me and they're like, follow for follow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no disrespect. I appreciate you stopping by and for chatting and getting, in the stream. However, I don't give a shit about numbers.
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, if you follow me, I'll make sure 5 of my friends follow you. And I'm like, so you're admitting that 1/5 of your followers are fake?
Yep, pretty much.
And so I was like, I appreciate you stopping by, but the numbers don't matter to me. And he's like, you have 9 and I can give you, I can get you to 14. And I'm like, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. But see, this is what, as much as content providers deal with, as much as the really high-end ones, don't get me wrong, content is what makes, a channel, a platform, everything. Even a podcast. People will, return because they enjoy the podcast. We appreciate that. We just do it because we have fun. We're glad that you actually, enjoy it as well and you want to listen.
When we started out, we said that these were conversations or shit we would Google on our own and then tell the other person about, right?
That's all it is.
The only difference is that we schedule it in. And we're like, I'm just going to have it ready for this specific day.
Exactly.
Get your shit together.
But, if it comes down to building a model and it comes down to playing a video game...
And you don't want to do it,
I don't
what's
feel
the
like...
point?
I mean, I got the stuff there. I could well and truly sit down and, do it all. But the process, I just... You got to have some downtime. Sure, I've had, just over 2 years of downtime. But
you're also an essential worker in the pandemic.
Yeah. But the other thing too is I am working on the editing side of things. But editing, my style of editing, takes time. And it's just, you got to put things in perspective. Some people have that time. I don't. But I will get the stuff coming up. I say, yeah, okay, I'll get to it. I do work on it. Little bits and pieces.
No, you need to tell us your schedule a month in advance.
Oh, absolutely.
And we need to, in a public forum, we need to critique it. You know that toilet break that you do at 4 p.m? We're getting rid of it now.
I mean, some of the feedback I get, I absolutely laugh. I look at it, some 12-year-old is literally yelling at me and screaming, and I'm just like, that's great, mate.
I had some guy tell me, is this your boyfriend's Xbox? And I'm like, I don't have a boyfriend, first off. Second off, fuck you. This is a day one OG Xbox One that I purchased on my own.
Oh, it's funny. And it's like shit like that. And you just go, people will troll the fuck out of you. And it's just a case of, don't care. Don't care. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. See ya.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Stopping by.
I had one guy tell me, oh, yeah, your content's really fucking shit.
Yes,
I'm like...
but have you had a guy from a prestigious American Catholic university, right, email you using his student email and tell you how you're a slut, how you're a whore, you're going to, what did he say? Heaven jail.
Oh, heaven jail.
No man's going to touch... And I was like, I joked, and I was like, I don't want a man to touch me because I don't swing to male. Thanks. And
he went
I
off.
didn't even reply, to be honest. I was like, thanks. And so I took that email and I contacted every person...
On that mailing list.
Every head from the Chancellor to the Vice-Chancellor to tutors in his department.
Yeah, that's what we call... Here's the other thing too. As we all know, there are certain, I suppose, areas of academia. Sorry, I don't say academia. There are certain skill sets that allow certain people, if the rabbit hole presents itself, we will happily bound down the rabbit hole and we will burn bridges.
It wasn't burning bridges.
No, because what would happen is that guy has gone, you're dumb.
But the thing is, I can take that, right? I can deal with it because I can objectively, in that situation, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so heartbroken. I never want to post on my channel again.
No, it's a
I
case
was very much like, really?
Really? Fucking bring it.
Fuck you.
Bring
Fuck
it.
Everything about you. Let's fucking go.
Let's
because I
go.
don't care for, in that situation, at that moment, I was more pissed off for the fact that he had the audacity to say that to me, and two, I didn't want anyone who was actually participating in a discussion with me in the comments or that follows me, or not that I'm saying I'm a big person, but I have friends that follow me that I have met online through my channel, and I'm very, very fucking grateful for that. But I didn't want people that are stopping by watching that video to feel that level of discomfort and feel like they were being targeted or someone was going to say something about them for them talking about something that they wanted to give their opinion on. Right?
But here's the thing too. Why the fuck are they arguing on the internet?
Because it's one of my friends who commented as soon as she saw he commented on our thread. Yeah. And she was like, why, sweetie, you're not getting any?
Yeah. Winning.
And then I have her Instagram, so I messaged her as soon as I saw it, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was on the bus on the way to uni. I just missed it. I've blocked, it was a 20-minute lapse of me not being online, right?
Yeah.
And I saw the notification, just like, don't worry about it. Like, I've reported him too.
Yeah, just fucking dumb shits.
But anyway, all right, we're getting back on today's topic.
Yep, we are.
All right, Halloween day one.
Ooh,
you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I've really wanted to talk about for a very, 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 very long time. And today we're talking about the Winchester Mystery House, also known as the Winchester Mystery Mansion.
Dun.
All right, normally I'd ask you what you know.
Well, let's see. I know that the Winchester repeating rifle. Well, we know about that because obviously we've watched a lot of the Winchester
Did you have
movies.
Winchesters on the farm?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No. That's like an older firearm.
Really?
Yeah. It goes back to the early days of 1112. Back when I was able to, do things. In case anyone was wondering, the only time I've ever been in 1112 is, in a video game. That's pretty much it.
Oh my god.
Those times were nice. The Wi-Fi was fantastic.
Oh, really?
If you could call it that.
Haven't stopped. 7 days a week.
58 years.
Oh.
All
right.
Oh my god.
So anyway, today we're talking about the Winchester Mystery House.
Yes, we are.
And
first of all, this is a mystery.
it's got paranormal lore to it. I'm not saying I believe in it. I like the idea of it, but again, I'm a scientist.
A scientist. You've got to say it correctly. Scientist. We do not pronunciate words properly on this podcast. Everyone knows that. I pronuncio.
Anyway.
I pronuncio. Wingardium
if you've seen the
Leviosa.
movie, the movie was a very... they took the foundations of it, but then they added in the Doctor. So the Doctor didn't exist. That part of the story didn't happen. Alright?
Yep.
And the reason why she was building the rooms for that reason that is projected in the movie.
Yep.
Didn't happen in real life. Alright. This is where I was going to make the joke and say breathe in and imagine that you're sitting on the beaches of ancient Greece.
Beaches of ancient
Greece. I was going to tell a story, but never mind.
Beaches of
Alright.
ancient Greece.
So let's jump back to casual 1840.
Jump back.
I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to perceive olden times. Like, I know they existed, obviously, but I'm just saying I can't picture it. It's out of my realm.
I think it's because, too, the congestion back then would have been limited to, okay, you got a saloon, you got a post office,
We're talking about
pharmacist.
this is before the West was won.
Okay,
right? So you got a town of 1,000 people tops.
So this is when the West was lost.
No, this is before the West was won.
So the West hadn't been found.
The West has been found. We're about to send soldiers over to commit genocide.
Yay.
And you say that sarcastically.
Yeah,
obviously.
I say that sarcastically because essentially it literally wiped out 80% of the native population. Fuck.
Right on. So 1840, and Miss Sarah Lockwood Party, she was born in New Haven, Connecticut. And there's so much fucking creepy shit in New Haven, Connecticut. Apparently it's one of the stops on if you're travelling on the way to Salem, Massachusetts, and shit. But anyway, so Sarah, she was described as a very, very well educated and very, very bright woman. Couldn't get any information as to what education she received, but I'm gonna tell you she was brilliant. She spoke 4 languages. Again, couldn't find information what they were, but for the time I would imagine that they would either be French, German, Spanish, and sometimes they would pull another one in.
French?
I said that first, but thanks for
But you have to say French twice because it doesn't have that same impact otherwise. This is why I always say French. It's
Baguette?
like, would you like a baguette?
Do you know in France, they call the wand, as in like Harry Potter's wand, a baguette magique.
A baguette, a magic baguette.
Anyway, so
I like the croissant. I like the croissant.
Alright, so a bit of a time skip because she's 22 and then she marries, this is 1862, and she, just listen to this name, William Wirt Winchester. You know how there's DW? This is triple W.
Winchester.
TW. This is TW. And Mr. William Wirt Winchester. Also, how strong is the surname Winchester?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get that's why they did it for Supernatural, the
Yeah.
TV show. Anyway, so Mr. William is the son of Oliver Winchester, and he is the guy who owned at the time, New Haven Arms Company. But then in 1866, 4 years after his daughter-in-law came onto the picture, they changed their names to changed the company name from New Haven to Winchester, repeating Arms Company.
Here's one for you. This is I suppose this is pointing to the cause, but also because they're talking French. Impossible n'est pas François, which is impossible is in French.
Thank you for that marvellous piece of information.
You're welcome.
It completely fits the narrative of the discussion I'm trying to hold right now.
Exactly. That's why I put it in. We call that surprise French.
Beautiful. Apparently, if you've ever watched any Western movie, chances are that the actors carried a Winchester.
Yeah.
And there's a very famous saying that says the Winchester rifles are the guns that won the West.
Yeah.
The West was won by...
Good old bolt-action rifles.
Do you know the Car 98 is a Winchester rifle?
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I've learned something.
I can't remember which one it's supposed to... Oh, I'll have a look, because I had a look at the website and I was like, holy shit, I've seen that before. And then I had a look and I was like... Because technically in Call of Duty and Battlefield and shit... what's the other one? Medal of Honor?
Yeah.
They don't put the company name in, because if they did that, then they'd have to pay a royalty fee, like licensing.
Yeah.
And they don't have the money to do that.
Did you know that it was in World War II in the Vietnam War, the Winchester Model 70?
Can you stop teasing information that I'm about to say in 20 seconds?
No, but I just wanted to say that, just quickly, the evolution of, like, you think about it from gunpowder to
We're
bolt.
talking muskets,
Yeah,
right?
muskets.
Where you're jamming shit and you're in the trees and it's a civil
But
war
the
and it's
bit
fucking
where you
raining
literally
and you
go-
gotta tear it out, pour it in, and then you gotta fucking... What's that? Hold on. Scene from Last Man Standing. Musket rifle. Hold on, just 2 seconds.
One.
Just... Can you give me a minute?
Okay. One.
Not even a minute, just shush.
Okay.
Hold on, let's play it now. I love Last Man Standing. Tim Allen's a beast.
What are you doing?
Cleaning a flintlock musket from the Revolutionary War while enjoying a little bacon and biscuits. This is what our forefathers died for.
Can you do that in your den?
The Bill of Rights says I can do this wherever I want to do.
Really? Well, what if your 2-year-old grandson walked in here?
And overpowers me?
Your back could be turned, you could be reaching for a piece of bacon.
Yeah, you can grab the musket out of my hand, shove me to the ground, pour the correct amount of powder in here, take the ramrod, jam it down there. Get a musket ball, put that in there, take the ramrod back out, jam that down there, half cock it, put a percussion cap in there, fully cock the thing, and somehow shoot me in the foot.
Just keep the safety on.
Honey, this whole gun is the same.
Sorry.
It's funny when you
Anyway.
really think about it.
So these weapons were limited in use to US, Canada, Mexico, and also by the Ottoman Empire. Which I didn't know was still around during the 1840s and shit.
You
But
know what I always wondered when I was a kid?
What?
Did otters, were they genetically engineered by the Ottoman Empire? Because we know where Ottoman chairs came from. Were they made from otters?
I'm not very impressed right now.
It's like, don't have an Ottoman.
Turkey was a powerhouse.
They were. But did the turkey come from Turkey? Cue awkward.
Turkey imported from Turkey.
Turkey imported from
What's
Turkey.
the other one? That's from the High School Musical too. You probably didn't watch that.
No.
I don't want to play it because then we get demonetized.
Yeah.
Not that we're monetized at all, but we'll get.
Imagine
What's the
us-
thing where they pull it? Whatever.
Imagine us earning money from this. Wow.
All right, so let me give you a quick. I was going to say battles, but then I was like, no, because there are battles within wars, and for a moment I forgot. I corrected myself. So this is a list of wars that they were carried in: the American Indian Wars, the Japanese invasion of Taiwan in 1874, the Russo-Turkish War between 1877 and 78. Dyslexic much. The Northwest Rebellion.
I don't remember
The
that one.
French intervention in Mexico, the Spanish-American War, the Mexican Revolution, I can't speak, Revolution, World War I, the Spanish Civil War, World War II, the Indo-National Revolution, and the uprising of 1953 in East Germany. So this isn't me giving a brag list, it's just me just explaining like how much these weapons were used. It's estimated that their three main models, over 3 million of them were sold.
Shit.
And that was over a century ago,
Yeah.
right? So the company changes their name, right? And Sarah ends up delivering the couple's first and only child, a daughter named Annie. 6 weeks later, very heartbreakingly, Annie doesn't make it. Clinically, she had marasmus, and then I had to go look this up because I didn't know what it was, and apparently it's a very, very, very severe form of malnutrition.
Mm-hmm.
and it's characterized by energy deficiency. And you can imagine that at 6 weeks of age, you need to be fed quite frequently.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was anyone's fault, but I'm just saying it's an infant. Things, if you're not feeding an infant, things go south very quickly.
Yep.
So in, I guess, the lore of the whole Sarah's background, she believes that there was another reason for why Annie passed away, but we'll get into that. So in 1880, her father-in-law Oliver passes away. I wasn't able to find out how his death was clinically categorized, but he's 70 in the 1800s, which is like saying you're 120 now.
Yeah.
So I would assume he died of old age, or like end organ damage or something like that. It isn't far stretched to assume it would have been something. At the end, there's going to be a different way that it's tied to the house. And then a year later, in 1881, her husband William dies due to tuberculosis.
That's not good.
So she's lost her daughter, her husband, and her father-in-law. I guess she'd be more worried about your child, but in the context of the reasoning, I need to put that there for a bit later on. So, you know how I love my inflation calculator? Get ready to buckle up. She only inherited a piss-poor inheritance of 20 million US bucks.
Oh, jeez. That's...
Do you want me to tell you how much that's worth today?
Oh,
because I nearly done shat myself.
That
Piss-poor, man. Nothing. Only $20 million in the 1880s? What the fuck?
Jeez.
No, how dare you? I'm not going to say this full number, but it's over $509 million. Right? In US? If you're a lowly Australian like me, I know. If you're a lowly Australian like me, that's about $706 million.
Oh, no.
Nearly 706.5. But
what are we going to do?
I know. Hold on. It's so much worse because she received it in a lump sum. It just appeared in her account one day.
Oh, don't you hate it when banks do that? Oh.
And then, because that wasn't enough, she inherits 50%. Some people said 50%, and then some people said 51%. But there wasn't any actual stock information I could use to contextualize this. But allegedly, it was minimum 50% of the company. 25% she inherited from her husband, and the other 25% is what her husband had inherited from her father-in-law.
Oh, no.
Right? So she's a majority owner in the company.
Don't you hate that?
And then, because the fucking $20 million wasn't enough, this
million.
poor woman, right, she's going to grovel for the grain, grains growing in the earth. She gets paid $1,000 a day.
Oh, shit.
That's not much. In royalties,
oh,
right?
That's not much at all.
Today, in the US, obviously it would change in the year, but I did it from the year that her husband passed away. So the time, because obviously the inflation changes for every year. But I wasn't going to count another fucking 37 different inflations. So I'm sticking to 81, not 1881.
That's a tough life.
$25,482.16 US cents, whatever. And then if you're Australian, $35,513.41. Do you know you could live off the interest of that money?
Just put it in the bank, off you go.
Or you could just build a mystery house and do that.
Mystery house.
So just chump change. Nothing serious. You're not going to get very... I'm joking, obviously. I don't want anyone to think I'm being serious.
People think we're serious? Since when?
And then I saw this one thing, like one news article, and it's like, that money made her one of the richest women in the world. And I was like, dude, name men that were worth $20 million in the late 1800s. She was one of the richest people, men included, in the world.
Yeah.
Name a man. How many men were making fucking $1,000 a day back then?
No, I got them.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not saying that there weren't men, but I'm assuming not that many men were making that much money a day. No. But they have to be like, richest women. No, person. Holder in her company. If she was stupid, would the family have given it to her?
No.
Exactly.
No, she's a beast.
I'm a boss-ass bitch. Bitch. Anyway, so as you can imagine, she was very plagued with grief. Posthumously, which means after she's passed away, and now we have these things called psychiatrists. They have diagnosed her clinically with depression, but obviously they can't interview her, so it is what it is. But obviously, you can imagine you'd be very freaking brokenhearted.
Oh, you would be.
So this is the legend, and kind of inclined to believe where the origins are because it makes sense as to why she sets up a seance room. But she was very heavily into spiritualism. And then I looked back and then I found out that I don't think people realised how big spiritualism was when it first came around in the late 1800s. And what I mean by that is it wasn't considered like so woo-woo, witchy, vegan, hippie as it is now. But people were like really interested in it because they saw it as a thing to contact their loved ones. And skepticism wasn't as big a thing back then, right? And a lot of people who had money, unfortunately, fell prey, and people who didn't sold everything because they thought that they could get one last moment with their loved ones.
Yeah, and they just got preyed upon.
And it's not me saying spiritualism is fake, but I'm just saying
At the time.
there was money to be made.
Yeah.
Right? So Sarah wasn't an exception to the whole spiritualism takeover. And she felt like something was off. And she was like, these deaths are not normal. I think that there's some sort of, like, curse upon my family.
There's some shenanigans going on.
Yeah, there's some shenanigans afoot here. So she visits a psychic at the suggestion of a friend that I could never get a name for.
Yep.
And apparently he was one of the most famous ones at the time, and he lived out in Boston. His name was Adam Coons. I'm not trying to be racist in saying that name.
No, it's
I
a
just
name.
want to say that that's his name.
Yeah,
I fully support for the Coon name change. I'm just saying what this guy's name was. All right. So she goes to Adam, and she's like, yo, I want to communicate with my husband on the other side. And awesome Adam says, oh, sorry, we can't do that because your family's cursed by the countless lives killed by the Winchester rifles. And that's a quote.
Wow.
Allegedly. You know, for the reporter that was sitting in the room.
Yeah.
While they were having this conversation. And so he tells this broken-hearted woman that the spirits of the victims had already caused her child and husband and father-in-law to die. And that the spirits are angry and she needs to essentially atone for the mistakes her family has made. And she's got to move out west, and he meant California, where the majority of the guns were used at the time, because, you know, that's where the guns are built, the West.
Right.
And he tells her that she's got to build a house and that she's got to keep building because if the hammers ever ceased, she would die.
Wow.
And so, you know, she's a rich-ass bitch. Strong-ass
Imagine it was
bitch. Boss-ass bitch.
all the hammering was to keep out her tinnitus.
Seriously though, but after 38 years of hearing hammers and nails and whatever the hell they used in saws, the house is so large, you wouldn't hear it anyway.
Well, look on the bright side. At least the house got anyone in the house got absolutely hammered.
Alright, anyway. So this is my main joke of the evening and I hope you will appreciate it.
Better.
So, you know, as you do, she went on to realestate.com.
Oh, God.
And as you do in the 1800s, and she found just a casual 161 acre plot of orchids.
As you do.
Because that's what you do, right? And on this really, really tiny parcel of land that's only 161 acres, there was an 8-room, 2-story farmhouse, and that was the beginning of the Winchester Mansion. It's only tiny.
Oh, teensy weensy.
Who do you know that has 8-bedroom houses?
I don't know. I don't know anyone. That's fucking ridiculous.
Right, and this is the 18... This tells you a level of opulence. Right?
Opulence.
Do you know what my
dancing.
family was doing in 1884?
Making snow cones?
My maternal grandfather wasn't even born yet, but his family was going through some rough shit, right? With the wars and shit. I can't speak to... They were probably struggling too. But the point of being is, it's like a complete... Poverty didn't exist to them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, donate your money to a good cause or some shit. People are dying around the world, but it is what it is. So, the only thing that she left untouched in this very tiny, very crappy farmhouse was the attic.
Yep.
Right? Everything else has been torn down or repaired or fixed, right? The only thing that is still there untouched is the attic. So, between 1884 and 1922, she decides that she's going to have tradesmen working on the house 24/7 every day of the year because she believed Mr. Adam, who said that if they stopped, she would die. Allegedly, I wasn't able to find photos of this myself, but apparently you can. So she passed away of heart failure of old age. Like, she was an old woman, right?
Yeah.
Lived a good life. Not really, but you get what I mean.
Good enough.
Right? Like, she went through some serious fucking grief, but financially, bitch had it made.
Oh, yeah.
So, allegedly, she died. They told the workers, and you can see the moment where the workers stopped hammering nails because they're only half knocked into the wood.
Wow.
And apparently, like, there's not panes, but like 2x4s, let's say, that are put in the foyer of the house that you can see where they've been half hammered, and it just stopped. Construction just stopped halfway through because they were like, I guess it's done.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go.
I can't speak to the validity of it because I couldn't find any pictures, but allegedly.
That's pretty crazy.
Right? However, and then I did some more digging, but there are letters that she wrote herself to, like, architects because, so there were times that construction had to stop because at the beginning she relied on architects to draw shit up, and they would have to, like, obviously get them sent to her. And there were lapses in time where she was waiting for things, and so construction, in her own words, like letters that people have read and people have found are somewhere. I don't know where they're stored. But there were times where she's like, no building is occurring.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to the 365 if you're telling me that she's written letters saying that at some points construction was paused.
Yeah, no, that's... Something must have happened. And, like, honestly, there'd be, like, what about during, like, really heavy weather and stuff?
Oh, they worked inside.
Ugh.
Anyway. So, because architects didn't get back to her with plans in time or whatever, she became the architect.
Oh, gosh.
And so she designed the rooms herself. And then some people say, well, she mustn't have had an architectural training, and that's probably why there are mistakes. Like, you know, the door that leads to nowhere in the back courtyard?
Yeah.
Where doors would open to a brick wall and stuff.
So she started... The reason why the house is so jumbled is because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Allegedly. Right? And then there's another theory that said that her grief motivated her to keep busy. She didn't give a fuck what she was building.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to design this. I would like this room, and we're going to put it here.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But just put
As
it here.
soon as you're done, I want you to tear it down, and we're going to rebuild another thing here. And that's fair enough. And then I thought to myself, like, this is very similar to, like, what my family believes. And they're like, if money is cursed...
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
You got to get rid of it.
You want to get rid of it, and you don't want to give it off to your own family.
Yeah.
Right? So she was like, in my, not doesn't saying that I believe that, but she would have been like, in the way I was taught to think about cursed money, is like, you want to get rid of that shit before the next generation came. But again, she didn't have kids. The most closest thing she had was her niece. But
it was all just...
That's a different story. So she was really nice to the workers. She paid them 3 times the going rate.
Jeez. No wonder they were like, yeah.
And she wanted to make sure that they were safe at all times, so she made sure that they were working in safe shifts.
Yeah.
So essentially you get this very confusing, convoluted, never-ending looking floor plan mansion.
Yep.
The house was in the Queen Anne, and let me just say, it is beautiful.
Like, you look at it.
Yeah, obviously they've renovated it and done it up for the tours and stuff in modern, like, now, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So they estimate that she would have built between 500, like, they have plans for between 500 and 600 rooms.
Jeez.
But because of her tearing stuff down, as it stands right now in San Jose, California, there are only 161 rooms. Only.
Only.
At the time of her passing, there are 161 rooms. So today, as it stands, people have gone through, the caretakers. Apparently, the same family of caretakers has taken care of this house from when they first moved across the country, from Connecticut all the way over to West Coast. The same family, generation after generation, is a caretaker.
Far out.
Right. So they've done a count. Apparently the house has 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 6 kitchens, 3 elevators, and 13 bathrooms.
Far out.
Just imagine dusting that.
That would be an absolute pain in the ass.
Sorry, Becky, I made myself some omelette in the kitchen. I need you to go clean it up. I left the pan there. Yes, Mum. Yes,
Yeah.
Mum. And then you got to fucking go through 50 kilometres worth of hallway to find which kitchen she used.
Wow. That would be... that's just like some nightmare shit. Or otherwise you just get the ghosts to help you.
Smart, man.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
Anyway, so a lot of people question like dead end staircase, like the one that's in the movie. That's real. The set that they used in the movie wasn't the real staircase, but that staircase exists.
It's
right?
a really messed up staircase too. Just-
Chimneys didn't go through walls properly, so like say some chimneys would go through like 4 floors or 3 floors, and they worked. But some of them say that this was a second story. The chimney didn't go through the floor properly.
Yeah.
It was just a tunnel, and then that was it.
Ah.
Right? Like, it reached here, but there's still another floor to go.
So the
And
smoke
it
would
didn't
just
go.
go in that room.
They didn't use it. It was just there.
Wow. Broken.
Right? Windows, like we said, like, for example, say we have this kitchen wall. They would just open it, and there's nothing, like, having a door right here.
And
Having a door
there.
right here to the wall.
And there's literally
Right?
nothing.
And, like, what do you need that for?
I don't know. For all the things.
So, if you believe the legend, they say that she built it that way because she wanted to confuse the spirits to make sure that they would get lost if they were looking for her. Because you know how they said the guy was like, you know, if you stop, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my god, I need to build this house so that way, if it's so convoluted, they can't find me.
Yeah.
In the movie, she built a house specifically tailored to a person who had died by the Winchester rifle.
Yep.
And she would invite their spirit in, and then they would be in that room, and then she would help them realise that they were in fact dead, and then they would pass on. I quite like that movie adaptation opinion, but...
They'd rock up and have a chitty chat. Chitty chat.
Chitty, as you do.
A chitty
I
chat.
don't know about you though, but I ain't buying a Ouija board. I'm not having
fuck
any
that.
kind of conversation through a Ouija board. But that's just me. And because she was smart and she was schooled in subterfuge, she was like, you know what? I'm going to rotate which room I sleep in every night. And so imagine, like, I'm doing this research and I'm like, imagine poor Becky the maid. And she's like, do I wash the sheets? Or do I just wait for her to come back into this room? Like, what do you do?
You just wait. Like,
What do you do?
What do you do? Like, she freaking crazy.
But she's paying the money, like, and she was apparently really nice. But I'm not having a go at her, but also, like, the poor maid.
Wow.
Imagine having to be the person that every night had to, like, tap the candles out.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, imagine being that person and you're like, shit, where am I?
It's like, oh no, I'm lost again. Great. Oh, shit.
So apparently the house as it stands today is over 24,000 square footage, which I can't understand that because I'm an Australian and I also don't own a house.
It's literally a case of a whole lot of lost.
But apparently that's like 2,229.67 meters square. How much is a normal house square meter footage?
I have no idea.
Normal average house square foot.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Have a look. I need to figure this out. Oh, 255.3.
Okay, there you go.
So she's got
A shit ton.
a lot more than
Most. Shit.
Jesus Christ. See, I can't, unless it's numbers, I can't visualize it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to reason it with what, I'm sorry, that's how my brain works. It's annoying, but then I get people who are like, you know what, thank you for doing that because otherwise I wouldn't have understood. And I'm like, you're most welcome, darling, because I didn't get it either. Alright, so that's 10 times the amount of a house that I'm going to buy.
Yeah, she fucking had shit tons.
That's 10 times. This house that we rent is like a third of that.
Yeah.
Imagine just 10 of this.
Yeah, fucking what?
And it was bigger than that. Okay. And then she was like, you know what would be smart? If I put my seance room smack bang in the middle of the house.
Fucking hell.
Oh, I know they're after me, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite them in every night. Specifically at 2 a.m.
Fucking hell.
I know they're out to get me, but let's talk to them. At 2 a.m. every night. Or morning, depending on what kind of person. For me, it's morning. But yeah, that's what she did. How did she talk to them, you ask? Oh, just a casual Ouija board and planchette. And by the way, the door had a lock, and she was the only person that had a key for that lock, and she only ever went in alone. And what's one of the rules of a Ouija board? Let me tell you. You always say goodbye, you never break the circle, you never play in a graveyard, and you know what else? You never fucking play alone.
Yeah.
Miss fucking Sarah's like...
Deuces.
For 38 years, she's in there and she's like, I know you're out to get me, let's chat.
Let's fucking party up. She literally played multiplayer. Fucking hell.
Anyway. Football's on, Sarah! Football's on, Sarah! Football's on! So anyway, allegedly... So this is what I don't understand, right? First of all, she's terrified that they're coming after her, but she invites them in. Literally breaks the rules. Secondly, allegedly the spirits are telling her how to design and build the mansion. But she wants to get away from them, so why would she take their input?
Exactly.
Right.
Because psychoses.
And then Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved, who we absolutely love. Not Shane, who's the hey demons, it's me, your boy, but the scaredy cat. Demons. Me, your boy. He also said that, and he's like, if she's trying to build a house to make it confusing for them, why is she getting building instructions from them?
Yeah. It
defeats the whole purpose. Anyway, so the seance room has 1 entrance and 13 exits. And then you're going to ask me, what's an exit? We're talking windows, we're talking fireplaces, we're talking random shit like that. Right? Okay. And so she loved the number 13, and this is where it gets a lot of confusing because I've already told you that spiritualism was really big back then. A lot of people, particularly of the Christian faith, say that 13 represents bad luck. But in a lot of other religions, for example Wicca, and a lot of other alternative religions or belief systems, believe that number 13 is actually good luck, and that it repels evil. And Sarah was one of those people. So, how far did she go with this? Let me tell you. Her will had 13 sections.
Shit.
She signed her will 13 times.
Wow.
She ensured that she had 13 bathrooms. People say she had 13 bedrooms, but that's not correct. She actually had 30 bedrooms.
Damn.
Each staircase had 13 steps. The ceiling rendering had 13 tiles.
Yeah.
She specifically had chandeliers made for her, and what I mean by that was they would send, because back in the day, the biggest you could get was a 12-candle chandelier.
Yeah.
She would say to her staff, no, make space for a 13th candle.
Fuck.
So they would forge a chandelier for her that held a 13th candle, right? They were rigged to hold 13.
Yeah.
And then, because she's a rich-ass bitch, she makes the salesman of Tiffany in New York City travel to her rural fucking farm in San Jose, and he's like, I want stained glass. She has a beautiful stained glass window room, right? And the most beautiful pieces. And she's telling the designer of Tiffany that she wants this teeny tiny glass thing that isn't even in the window. It's just set as a display now in the room.
Yeah.
To have 13 fucking precious gemstones in there. And they're like, yes, Miss Winchester, we're going to have it done for you. What colours would you like? What specifications? Where do you want them placed? And she's like, here's my design. And they're like, yes, Miss Winchester, we'll have it. It's express delivered to you, with it via our concierge.
Jeez. Imagine just... Wow.
The glass pieces in that room are estimated... I couldn't get an original value of what they were worth back then, but people say that it's, in today's money, worth approximately 350,000 US bucks or 484,000 Australian bucks.
Shit.
Yeah. And then so we return to a bit of a timeline here. And then so in 1906 there was a San Francisco earthquake, and it severely damaged her mansion, and she was actually trapped in a room, and she was like really creeped out, and she thought like that was the end. You know what I mean? And she got really panicked about it. Allegedly, she bought a ranch that lived on that property. I'm not really going to talk about it too much today, but essentially, you know, she had a sister and a brother-in-law, and that's, you know, the niece in the movie, that's there. And they had like a tiny house of like 12 rooms on the property. You know what I mean? Just a tiny ranch house.
Yeah.
And so she lived in that for a little while, and there are split stories later on that say that she died in that ranch or that she died in the house. But from what I understand, she did die in the house.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she lived in that ranch. She bought it, got her sister and her husband and niece to move in. And she lived there for a little while because she was just so rattled by it. Apparently, they literally had to free her with a crowbar because that's how much the room had collapsed.
Shit.
That she was in. At the top of the house, one of the main spire parts, there's a room called the Witch's Cap. It's got a very high ceiling it's an attic essentially. It's a very high ceiling and it's got a canonical roof. And if you stand dead center in the room and you talk, the acoustics of the room bounce your voice around you, and it's like really cool. I saw that on BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Nice.
One of the most active areas of the mansion is the basement, and people often pick up sounds of footsteps even though there's no one in the house to walk around. And see, that's what fucks me up more than anything, because I feel like if something's there, if there's not that I'm saying I believe in it, but if there was something there and he was there to kill me, charge me, right? Just appear right in front of me and take me out, right?
So,
either make my heart explode and stop, or give me like 2 seconds to run so I can get away from you. But I want it to happen straight away. I can't stand when it's like, oh, the front door's gonna creak and you're gonna hear just take me. I don't want to deal with it.
It's like, ooh.
I'm either gonna go or not. Just don't fuck with me. Just
and
take
then suddenly it turns into like an episode out of, you know, Scooby-Doo. It's like, oh, you were behind this mystery all along. Ha 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 ha.
I can't do it. Not today. So essentially, they've reasoned that. Now let me tell you a story. So the family, you know how I told you they have the tours now and stuff. So they're getting the house ready for the tours, and they're repainting everything, and they're getting all the trash out, and they're making it safe and public liability and shit, right? And so they've got workers there, and they're doing their work, and they see this guy in white overalls pushing a wheelbarrow, massive handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
And they're like, hi, how's it going? He doesn't talk to them. And he just
keeps walking
with his wheelbarrow. And then they saw him so frequently that they assumed he was an employee. Like, they just assume, because you're not going to be like, oh shit, you know. And then so they go to the caretaker family, and because you know how you have to sign out with the foreman.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, what about the guy in the white overalls with the wheelbarrow who hasn't signed out today? And they're like, what do you mean? We don't have that guy here. And they're like, no, we see him every day. And they're like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, you don't understand. And so they get to the basement, and they found a picture of him. Apparently this picture is displayed in the foyer as well. And on they had I don't know who it was, but they had written the names of the people in the photo, and his name was Clyde.
Yeah.
Right? And so they went back in records, and they found out that Clyde was the coal guy.
Oh.
So he worked the coal chute.
Yeah.
For the mansion and everyone that lived on there, right? And all the workers. So his job was literally to go to the coal shed, get the coal, wheel it to the basement, and shovel it in the chute, the coal chute.
Yeah, that's
right?
what he did.
And so his path was so ingrained that that's what he did.
And
apparently people say they still see him
doing that job.
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't talk. He doesn't look at anyone, and just does his shit.
Jeez.
I can't say if it's real or not, but I'm just telling you.
Interesting.
Yeah. Again, couldn't find a picture of him online. It is what it is. The most active area in the house is her bedroom, and then you're going to say to me, but you told me she rotated bedrooms.
Yeah.
And then my reasoning is, I think that they call it her bedroom because that's the bedroom she died in.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Out of the other 30?
Yeah. Makes sense.
So a group of 4 paranormal investigators went there, and they allegedly saw a red orb of light that exploded.
Boom!
And then faded.
Ah!
Thank you. One of the investigators just happened to be a psychic, and she goes, "Oh, it was a couple, but they were servants, and they were huddled in the corner."
It's sound effects time.
Oh, please, mister, don't hurt us. Ooh. We got the bell thingy, you.
So Sarah unfortunately passed away on the 5th of September 1922 at the ripe old age of 82.
$20 says she heard a voice and fell down the dumbwaiter.
No, she died of heart
plague.
failure in her sleep.
That was the red burst.
Ooh.
You're brutal.
Yeah.
Ow.
Hemoglobin explosion.
Congestive heart failure is not fun, dude.
No, shit.
As a person who had to take a
Ooh.
lecture series
Yeah,
in
it's-
biomed,
it's-
that fun.
bad. Can't go on.
I remember I came home to you. It was like March of my second year, and it was the first unit. And I was like, dude, these are all the ways I could die of heart failure. And you're like, you need to calm down. You're 20, not 70, and you don't eat cholesterol.
You need to calm the fucking morbidity the fuck down. Calm your morbidity.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very nice morbidity.
So now, back then it wasn't a town, but now it's zoned into the area of San Jose, California, which I've already said. She was, I don't want to say shipped back, but her final resting place, she travelled back east one more time. And she was led to rest in the Evergreen Cemetery in New Haven, Connecticut. And then I assumed when I read that meant she was going to be led to rest with her daughter and husband. And then I found out that yes, that was the case. And then they were left with not only the house, but the literal millions of dollars worth of furniture that she furnished the house with.
Yeah.
Right? So she left everything in her will to her niece, Marion Marriott. And the niece allegedly took what she wanted and then auctioned the rest off. According to the current owners of the house, it took movers 8 truckloads a day for 6.5 weeks to empty the entire house of furniture.
Shit.
Her biographer said that there was no evidence to support that. They didn't mention the former... So when they went to sell the furniture, they didn't tell the auction house where the furniture came from.
Oh.
Right? So therefore that meant that you can't track...
Yeah.
how much that furniture was sold for or where it went.
Yeah, it was
Essentially,
all...
its history.
I reckon a lot of it was just hush, hush, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it.
Yeah. Because back then you didn't need to... So essentially, there could be some rich bitch in New Haven sitting on Sarah's chair or ottoman.
Yeah.
Like you said, that would be creepy. But regardless of the place, you don't necessarily know. So basically... Theoretically, you might be able to track it down, but it'd be very hard. Like, you'd have to know if it was something that was specifically designed for her. Like, for example, the Tiffany glasses, the stained glass window. And they were like, we made that. Here's our brand.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can... That's all I can think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, basically, the furnishings that exist in the home today for tours are donations or loans. And they did their best to reflect the furnishings to the period, you know, the 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
Because she was such a private person, there aren't any known interior photographs taken, so the exact furnishings are a mystery. And then I was thinking, like, but wouldn't you be able to see what Marion had?
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, well, maybe she wasn't really, you know, into all that shit as well. But then, yeah, I guess the home was auctioned to the highest bidder. I don't know who the current owner is. They decided to make it an attraction, which good for them.
Yeah.
The first tour was in February of 1923, 5 months after she passed away. About a year later, Harry Houdini, in 1924, he toured the home. And apparently they have this thing where they say the energy is a lot higher during Halloween.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's when the veil is supposed to be the thinnest. Fun fact about him, and I don't want to spoil it because I want to talk about him in a future episode, but he was like the king of skepticism.
Yeah.
And like he, along with Randall, the amazing Randall, were like, they were a duo and they were like, we're going to stuff up anyone who's profiting off people and they're scamming people. So he tried to debunk, and he successfully did a lot of the time, a lot of spiritualistic claims. He publicly outed a lot of these scammers and called them charlatans, because he admitted that people prey on people in loss and grief. He alleged he had nothing of the sort to say about the mansion.
Yeah, there you go. Interesting.
So, I don't know. And then a few years later, on the 31st of October 1975, Jeanne Borgen, who was a psychic, and Joy Adams, a medium, they decided they want to go to the mansion and they want to hold a seance in Sarah's bedroom. And then Jeanne decides that she's going to go into a trance because she feels Sarah's overpowering, that's a quote, spirit. And then Joy sees Jeanne age.
Yeah.
Right? Her face is like lined with wrinkles, her skin starts to fall, and then she passes out.
Yeah.
And then Joy has to wake her up. And then allegedly, that was her spirit telling him to
fuck off.
Pretty much, this ain't the place for you to mess.
Yeah.
Alright? And then I watched the Ghost Adventures episode, and obviously it's so highly manufactured. But I love them, like, just as people. They're really cool. Yeah. And so they're running around the house, and obviously Zach's putting it up, because, he's an actor.
Yeah.
And then they got lost.
Yeah.
And they're like, have we been in this room before? And then Adam's like, yeah? And then Zach's like, no, you were with the camera in that room, filming me in this room. You've already been in here. And then the other guy who starts with A, I can't remember his name, and he's like, but it is what it is. Anyway, so the staircase in the movie where she's shot by her grandson who's being possessed?
Yep.
That's called the switchback stairs. Oh, and they're very tiny stairs and very narrow. Right? So they're really like packed.
Yeah.
And apparently that could be a portal or vortex. Ooh. So they say, but people have gone in with like electromagnetic frequency readers.
Yeah.
People say that they feel funny as they're walking up the stairs, but also they're so tiny and they're so tight. You'd get claustrophobic, and you like really got to contort your body to get through them. Yeah. I reckon that's what you're feeling. Yeah. And also, you got to walk through 4 of those tiny little things.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. So yeah, apparently more recently, the hallway on the 3rd floor has seen a spike of activity. And I watched the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode, and do you want to know what it was?
What was it?
A bat.
Batty.
Interestingly, they locked all the bathrooms, and the house is no longer connected to water because so they don't want the guests to use them.
Yeah. And
they reason that if because the guests would get lost.
Yeah.
And they'd leave them in, like, they wouldn't know. And so they're like, we don't want people to get split from the group, so they have facilities outside for guests to use when they're taking tours. They're making so much bank, even during COVID, with their tours. They have a virtual tour.
Shit.
Right? This is their promo. The Winchester Mystery House is now open for self-guided garden tours. The official video access tour is now available to rent or purchase. We invite our guests to experience the beautiful and bizarre mansion from the comfort of your own home. $5.99 to rent for 72 hours and $13.99, these are obviously US bucks, to purchase.
Wow.
Additionally, we are offering guests unprecedented virtual access to the Winchester Mystery House on the all-new immersive 360 tour. And if that wasn't enough, they have their own merch.
Wow.
I put a link in our show notes. They sell mugs. One of them actually looks really cool. They sell a Mystery House fan bundle. If you buy them individually, it is like, there are 3 of them. One is $34.99. One is $24.99. One is $12.99, like one tinier book is $12.99. And they have a different bundle, which I think is... See, to me, is that not that?
Yeah.
but they put this weird tea towel in there for you, right? Or a pair of socks, right?
Yeah.
For an extra $15. Right?
Stop it to them.
So if you just want the books, you'd buy that. Anyway, they sell socks. They sell mugs. How cool do the mugs look? And it's like got the Queen Anne impression in the ceramic. And then there's also like the gold lines, which
That's
are really,
nice.
really cool. And then they have a journal with like a portion of the house, like the map it would have appeared. And they've got a cup and tea set, being mugs. But, yeah. If I ever travelled, I want to go there, but I also want to go to a church straight afterwards, and then I want to get blessed.
Because it's Winchester big time. Ooh.
People get married there
Wow.
on the
spooky.
gardens and stuff. Like you go on Instagram
It'd be
and you
very,
just type in Winchester
the gardens would
Mystery
be
House.
nice.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Like maintaining.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Alice Cullen who?
Yeah. That's a really nice.
The house is beautiful. Like it's so well
How much do you
maintained.
reckon, how long do you reckon, or how many people do you reckon it takes to maintain that annually?
Literally. Apparently, to paint the place every 5 years, it's 20,000 gallons.
Jeez.
What's
But
20,000
also, too,
gallons in
is that
Australia?
house heritage listed?
Yes. Yes, it is a heritage site.
Yeah.
And landmark site too, I think.
Yeah. Now, you'd hate to have a fire go through that.
It's not connected to, they don't let fire in, like candles in or anything like that. No. It's not connected to water.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Cali, so there's chance of earthquakes and shit.
Yeah.
The owner is Winchester Investments LLC.
There we go.
And they operate in Minneapolis.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's just a lot.
Very much so.
It was added to the U.S. National Register of Historic Places on the 7th of August 1974.
There you go.
It's a late Victorian Queen Anne style house. It's California Historical Landmark number 868.
Jeez. Wonder what number 1 is.
I'll have a look for you.
Because obviously, you know how it fits in. Ooh.
It's based on counties,
Ah, okay.
and then the numbers depend on the county you're in,
Okay, there we go.
allegedly.
Very spooky. Very spooky. Ooh.
Have a look. Let me have a look.
Have a look.
I can get a list of them. Yeah, it's by county. So, like, you have to go to Alameda County first.
Yeah.
Because it's the first one. And then on there, it's the Alameda Terminal First Transcontinental Railroad.
Hmm.
And then it's the Berkeley City Club. And then the Camino of Rancho San Antonio. And, like, then there's churches, Coast Guard Lightship, a vineyard. Ton of stuff.
Cool.
But yeah. Apparently they do, like, Halloween stuff. Every year they deck it out. They have pumpkins and creepy stuff. I don't know if they do a haunted march, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like a haunted house tour. But that's it. That's what I got for you today.
Excellent.
You can have meetings and events there. They have like a wedding plan that you can do through there and a gallery. Like, this is a picture I saw on Instagram, and I ain't a goth, but fuck yeah, I'd wear that.
That
Fuck
looks
yeah,
crazy.
I do that. Like, she looks beautiful. The photography is gorgeous. It's a kind of whimsical, you know what I mean? And then they still do like normal contemporary weddings, like all white and shit, and they try and do it like farmhouse. Look how beautiful that centerpiece is. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to this bullshit, but I'm a nod just in case you stab me. But they put a lot of work and effort into it, and it looks really cool.
Looks crazy.
So, yeah, they do a lot of team building events there. Let's see what venue sites they offer. Like, let's have a look.
All the venues.
The Carriage House, Shakespeare Grand Ball. Look at that.
That's a nice wall.
Yeah. The Shakespeare Grand Ballroom, up to 50 reception style seating. Venetian dining room. Then they've got the gardens, which you spoke about, like with the Oz boxes and shit. I want to die for that shit. Look at that. That's beautiful. Where you can sit up to 200. And then, like, if that's not enough, we have a meeting house called the Winchester Room.
Yeah. Very cool.
I wonder if that's where George Bush signed his deal to send America to war. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Oh, we have a conspirator. Another conspirator. Gotta love the conspirators. Ooh.
Anyway, that's all I got for you today.
Awesome.
I'm sorry that this probably is very long, but like I say, we're out of practice.
Yeah.
And also, hi, we're back. Also, Halloween. This is Halloween. I've been asking you for like 4 months if I could decorate the house for Halloween, and every time you were like, you need to reel it in a little bit. It's too early, otherwise a novel 2 will fade off. So when am I allowed to, because the point we're recording this is Wednesday the 23rd of September, because I want to start pre-recording, because we're busy, you're busy. When can I decorate the house?
October 1st.
Okay. Can I just clarify? Does that mean I can go through the storage in the garage and bring things into the house on the last day of September?
Yeah.
So that way it's ready to deck everything out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. All good.
I'm thinking of skipping doing the tree. Or do you want the tree?
Up to you.
I'm just wondering.
Up to you.
See if I can find out. I don't know how far back.
Yeah.
I squished it.
It's all squished.
But yeah, money to be made, shit to be had. Thank you so much for stopping by, and to everyone who waited for us to, I guess, quote unquote, come back. We have a topic request form. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Castro, Google Podcasts, Listen Notes, Luminary, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser, Radio Public. You can subscribe to us via email. We're also on Spotify, Stitcher, Swoot, TuneIn, and Overcast. We've got our re-uploads that we put to YouTube.
Yep.
We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. You can email us at controllersandcouches@gmail.com. He's FullMetalChicken.
Yes, I am.
I am Stephfafahh on everything, and I
Yep.
Twitch stream at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Yep.
Thank you so much, and you'll hear from us in a couple of days. Well, it'll be a couple of days for you, but we're going to record that episode tomorrow.
Absolutely. So on that note,
thank you. Stay spooky. Stay safe.
Spooky. Ooh. And also
wear masks.
Wear masks, like, full length Darth Vader mask. Make sure you have the right lightsaber. So yeah, until then, may the force be with you.
And also with you.
Live long and prosper. And we'll be signing off. Oh yeah. Adios.
Yep, this is Looney One.
Yep,
Signing off.
we'd be gone. Oh well, we'll be back. But yeah.